Hello and welcome back to BYOD. I am your host, Andy Timoner, and I am joined not by one guest, but by three today to discuss a film about love in Iraq and about the perils of getting out of the Middle East if you are gay, LGBTQ in any way, how difficult it can be and how life-threatening it can be. And this story is directed by Eva Orner and Chris McKim, and Chris is joining me today. Eva is in
Australia
promoting another film.
Yes.
I've known her forever as a great producer, but never as a director. So welcome to the show. And you have your subjects here today who have one of the most epic love stories maybe I've ever seen on film. Really, Out of Iraq is a love story. And we had access to you guys were so heartfelt. It's Naif?
Yes.
And Batu. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Just that you're sitting here after watching how hard it was, how almost impossible it was, like throwing a dart into a tiny hole to get you out of Iraq, or actually out of Lebanon, I guess at a certain point, right? You were a refugee for a long time in Beirut.
Yeah.
What?
Start from Iraq.
Yeah, starting from Iraq, then to Beirut, but then it seemed like the UNHCR.
UNHCR.
Yes, everybody has a different way of saying it. Yours are definitely more right than mine. The United Nations High Commission for Refugees did a lot of jerking around, let's say. The interviews seem to have been distorted, and there were a lot of times that I'm sure your heart just broke. But let's start back at the beginning. So how did this film begin? How did this journey begin for you?
Well, I'm going to back up before me because Eva's originally found their story. She had met Michael, who's also in the film and is an American, who helped Naif and Batu through all that bureaucratic red tape. I think she was working on another project. Michael told her about their story right before they went to Beirut for this final interview with UNHCR. And so she shot a couple days. She went to Beirut with them, put together a sizzle reel.
Did Michael contact her to try to put a filmic element to the campaign?
Yeah, and I think that exposure definitely helped, and the threat of cameras.
Interesting. Michael is an entrepreneur and a humanitarian, as I understand it. At first, in the film, when he enters the story in your life, Naif.
Yes.
And you were living in Seattle at the time, yes?
Yes.
And I was worried for you, because I watching the film and I thought, oh no, he's fallen in love with a sugar daddy in Seattle. That was like my first thought, I just had to say. And then I was like, oh, thank God, he's just this wonderful human being who wants to help them. So that was, that's what went through my head. But what an extraordinary man. How did you meet him anyway?
I met Michael in 2010 in a friend Barty. And we meet each other, and I start telling him about Batu and how I feel here. It's been like 1 year for me in the United States in that time when I met him. And he just decided to help me, so we go through everything. And after that, Batu, in that time, he was in Iraq. And at that time, when he getting dangerous after they found out about our relationship, and we need to get him out soon we could.
Right. And this is something that he does regularly? Like he actually helps people?
He did, sorry.
Okay, go for it.
He did before help Cambodian refugees, and he helped Ethiopian, and he been helping before a lot of people too. And yeah, he just get interested with our story, and he really felt like he want to do something, and he been fighting for it.
And so he also helped fund you getting to Beirut, right? He helped to actually make way for that.
Yes.
For you to escape.
Let me translate to him. So تقول لك يعني هو ساعدك انك يطلعك من العراق لك تروح لبنان.
Yes.
على مايكل.
Yes. هو اللي حتى بعت لي فلوس التذكرة وحجز الفندق والطيارة ومصرف اللي أبقى قاعد ببيروت.
So Michael, he's the one sent him the money to help him to fly from Iraq to Beirut as a tourist visa, so he could run away from there as soon he could.
Right. Is he down here for the LA Film Festival?
He is.
Yes.
Oh, perfect. So the film is actually premiering at the LA Film Festival. It was also, I should say, and roll back. We're going to do the whole interview in reverse. Randy and Fenton, who have been guests on this show before, and most recently with their film Mapplethorpe, documentary film, not to be confused with the one I hope to make very soon, that's scripted. They were just on the show, and they actually produced this film. So there's a World of Wonder production, yes. And it really makes a lot of sense. Now, you both were enlisted men when you fell in love. You both were working for the U.S. Army. Is that right?
No.
No.
Actually, I was.
You were a translator.
Yeah, with Marines, me soldier.
And you were an Iraqi
soldier.
And we went to the mission together. That's after I see him a couple of times, and I was, oh, look at that guy. He's hot. He's good looking. But in the mission is that where we get together and we start knowing each other and talking. He started inviting me for food, and we sit at night in that house in the mission and just talking and chatting. And
okay, I'm going to stop you right there because we have a clip. Okay. I'm going to cut to you both finding love in Ramadi. I had hoped that we had this clip, and we do. So here it is.
Ramadi was the most dangerous area in the world. I never thought I'm gonna find a love in this place. When I first saw this Iraqi soldier, it was afternoon, and I still remember his black hair shine with the sun. I go back and I told my friend, oh my God, I saw the most handsome guy ever.
أنا اسمي حيدر واسمي الثاني هو بتو. وبعد السقوط بعد 2003 هو اللي صرت عسكري. هو إنسان طبعاً بالعلم اسمه ديفيد. طبعاً ما أعرف صار بداخلي شعور أريد أشوفه مرة ثانية. بس حتى لو أشياء نفهمها إن أروح نستعين بيه يعني على مود شلون يسمونه حرشة. فقوم تتحرش بيه على مود يجي بس يترجم لنا.
So you go on this mission to Ramadi, and then do you come back out and then you find yourself like together for 15 days, or is this that time? Is this the same time?
Isn't that time?
So it's 2 weeks.
Yes, and he was like almost to go get his vacation, and after we chatting, he was have something he want to tell me, but at the same time I have something I want to tell him. Like I was feeling about him and feeling, there's communication between us, and in the same time I was afraid that he's not gay, and I will give myself trouble. So
what would happen if he was not gay?
A lot. I mean, first, well, everyone knows about it. They will be shame me. They maybe kick me outside the base, which is I'm in Ramadi. It's full of terrorists. If I get outside and I'm translated, I'll be killed very easier.
Right. Okay. And at this point, are the Sunni Muslims killing gays?
That's the Sunni areas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so you're scared to tell him. He's scared to tell you. Same thing, right?
Yes.
And who tells who?
Me, I told him. First time. Yeah, he not easy, but this time we working. Sorry, my English not good, but
I can translate.
Yeah. Anyway, we go on this mission together. We live 15 days together. I care for him, care for him, from food, cooking. And Iraqi food different than American food, but we cooking fresh food, and he coming with me. We have a group, stay in the ground, we talking something. Anyway, after 3 days, I don't know, I feel inside something I need to tell him I love you. Really, before I love him, but this is not easy. I told him I love you or I like you. And plus, Iraqi soldiers not easy. 15 years in government, not working in military. Plus, my family, friends, everyone. Nobody like it. I say I'm gay. This is my inside. Anyway, I see him.
I could translate if you want.
Yeah, and this place, I told him I love you. He kissed me, and after this kiss me, 2 days me not eat everything. Just I remember this kiss.
Oh, all right. I know that you have recorded 2 different accounts of this time together, so I want to hear from you. But first, let's see the clip. Let's see what you first decided to do with it. So this is the I love you moment, which I think, I mean, we're all lucky if somebody tells us they love us within the first 14 days, but I also feel that probably the circumstances were so tense that it really accelerated this connection. And obviously you have such a star-crossed connection with each other that lasted across thousands and thousands of miles and never was going to just diminish. So this is the very beginning of it. Let's take a look.
In 2005, we started going to mission together. And we stayed 15 days in a house.
الصدفة اللي جمعتني نفس الوقت بالليل كنا نقعد اكو كانت حديقة كنا ناخذ فراش ونقعد ونقوم نسولف ونتعاطى ويهم اكو يعني كم عسكري ويانا.
Oh my God, this cute guy, he started talking with me. Inviting me for dinners. I just want to see him every night to talk and relax.
كنا نسولف وأنا وياه همين مثلا نروح بأماكن ونفس البيت. أريد أقول له أحبك بس خايف يعني كان عندي خوف. بالأول اللي نسمع من أوائلنا ونسمع من الناس الأكبر من عندنا كانوا يقولون هذا مرض. أكيد مو بأمان وحتى بين أهلنا ما كنا نقدر نعيش بأمان إذا قلنا هذا الشيء لأن هذا الشيء عقوبته القتل. فكنت يعني الصراحة أقول له وخاف ما يطلع هو مثلا الجاي وتصير مشاكل وما أعرف شنو. فكنت أحاول شلون أأمن على مود أحكي هاي الكلمة. وقلت له يعني كان وقت ليل البكان لحد الآن أتذكره.
So you're exploring this. So Ava, back to how you got in. So Ava calls you and asks you to come on board?
Actually, Randy and Fenton are.
Great.
Eva, about 2014, had a sizzle, shopped the project around trying to get the money to actually do the documentary. And then World of Wonder spent over a year trying to piece things together. And by the time, you know, it became clear that, you know, they were going to get married, it was either we're going to do the documentary or not. And that's where I came in, because Eva was in Australia, and there was, you know, it was like, this was the moment. And so I came in and, you know, went to Seattle, met them, did a few days of interviews, and then just hit the bay. And very much like their relationship, Eva and I would talk on Skype. We didn't actually meet in a room until they came down in April to see the film for the first time, because she had been, you know, in Australia, and by that point I was working in New Orleans on a different show at World of Wonder.
Had she filmed then, like when Batu came to Canada?
Yes.
She kept up with the story with you guys. Okay, and then you took over with the marriage.
The marriage, and then all of we didn't have interviews and
to piece
post.
everything together.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, well, that's interesting. So what are the two stories you recorded regarding the the love story.
Well, it's interesting because it's very, and this is what's so universal about and relatable about their story is that they were both very much in their own heads. You know, it's the way we pieced it together. The most compelling thing was, it's out. You know, from Batu's description was building up to this "I love you." Well, very much. You know, Naif had his own set of jitters and nerves, and kind of didn't really seem to remember exactly it playing out quite that way. But it's funny because when you listen to their story, even though you know
9 years ago.
yeah, and they're in this war, and you've got your own emotions going into that. You know, it's like they're in this war-torn country and bombs, and you know, if he gets kicked off the base as a translator, he's going to be killed because he's a translator, and they think this is a traitor. But their story it feels like it could be a high school rom-com. Here are two people across the cafeteria who see each other. They're both attracted to each other, but don't know how to tell the other person and don't think the other person likes them, despite their attraction. Or in their case, there's a concern that this person might not be gay, and if they're not gay and I say something, the ramifications are, again, getting kicked off or getting killed or,
right.
And
stakes are very high.
Once they had each other, they at least had each other, but, if anyone else found out about their story, the outcome could be the same.
Now, Naif, you were a student before you became a translator, right?
Yes,
I mean, you were in university.
Yes, graduate Fine Art College in Baghdad University.
Okay, and you became a translator because it was very high paying, and you also believed in what the U.S. was doing there.
I do. I mean, it was very exciting when the war started in 2003 and the U.S. troops was there. We were so exciting, and a long time ago, I was learning my English from English movie and from songs, English songs, and it was so exciting to see them and talk with them and learn more about the American culture or the West culture, let's say. And when I started talking with them, and I heard from some of my friends, they could work and they could have money for that, and this was not a lot of money, but it was good to start at least to speak and test my English, and we go from there. And he said, okay. So I start to just we was training the new police in that time, and that situation, it was all before situation get more bad for translators when the militias after that come out and they decide to kill the translator because they feel that they are treat the home or treat the country.
Is that what paved the way for you to come to America?
Yes, because I cannot meet my family anymore, so I have to either meet them in other city, which is no one know I work as translator with the U.S. Marines, or I could just stay in the base and contact with them by the phone.
So how did you end up getting to America?
So they have a new program, and it's called IOM, and you could apply for a visa if you work with the collection forces. And I apply, and I get my visa after 11 months.
Okay.
And Naif was actually one of the first ones to get the visa, but at this point, there's a huge backlog of, but not just from Iraqi translators, but people that have worked with the U.S. and Afghanistan as well, and a lot of people are sort of getting left behind at this point.
Right, but it seemed like in the film and your editing, you kind of moved that along very quickly, because it was Batu's story that was really, really hardcore in terms of him getting out of the country.
Yeah, and I mean, it took 11 months once they, Naif started the process, but it didn't. There weren't as many hoops, and it was always probably more or less a sure thing.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those 11 months when I applied, situation was much better, a little bit better. I mean, we're still hiding our relationship, but no one knows about our relationship. When I travel to Seattle, I was thinking it's easy for me just to tell them I have a boyfriend and they will give him paperwork, visa, and he could come. But it's not was like what I thought. And at the same time, they find out about our relationship and they try to get him married. And that time, now the time is going very tight to us, so we need to do something. And that's how I felt the time going more longer, more difficult, and we need to do something. And with Michael help, we just to get him outside Iraq, far away from his family, so he could survive in his life back there. But we never thought also Lebanon will be that difficult, and that was where everything start and we start to be hopeless to get together.
Well, that's one thing I was unclear on. Is I mean, in Lebanon, it's not really safe either, is it?
No. He was legally there. He come as a tourist visa. Sorry, he come as a tourist visa, and so in any time they catch him, they send him back to Iraq, which is the death is waiting him there. So he need to work, he cannot work, and my work job is not enough also to support him. But he start working under the table, which is very, very limited.
Dangerous also.
Yeah, and it's still very dangerous. So he don't know what he have to do, and we was very, very helpless.
Now, you go and you have an interview with the UNHCR, and is it the first interview or the second one? The Abu Ghraib thing is just out of. Tell me that. This is the craziest story.
Yeah, I know.
When he in fact was interviewed, what, 9 times over those 4 years?
Yes.
9 separate times.
المقابلة مالتك
9 مقابلات.
ايه فانت شنو يعني شلون كانت مقابلاتك؟
How many people do we? I mean, how many?
أول مقابلة هو اللي صدمنا بها، قال إحنا ما نهتم للجاي.
He said in first interview when they shocked me and they say they not care about gay.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
After هم اللي فوكسوا على الجيش، ما فوكسوا على حياتي.
And after that they focus with the other interviews just about the military, but they not focus about my gay life and how I was in danger.
My life.
Because basically, okay, so here's the deal. In order to get the UN to help you get out of a place, you have to prove that you're going to die if you're there, right? That you're going to be killed. And the reason you were going to be killed is because you're gay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then as soon as you say that reason, they say, well, we don't care about gays. So now the reason that you're going to be killed doesn't matter.
Well,
so then what do you do?
One of the issues with that too is the interviewers are from, the local region. So while the UN may, they understand, and that's part of their policy. Yes, they would want to protect him, but you're still being interviewed by, a Lebanese Christian or someone who, who does not believe in that, and his process, his interviews are then clouded by individual judgments.
Wow.
And so there is a lot of missing translate. A lot of stuff is not real, is not right, and that's what happened. That's why we here to asking the UN to at least digital record those interviews.
And did they?
No, we would by our movie. Yeah, we would like that to happen.
Have you turned into an activist as a result of this, like regarding getting other people who are gay out?
And I understand.
Are you're helping others based on your experience come out?
Oh yes, we do. We already sponsor 8 people, LGBT people back from Iraq. We find them jobs. We teach them about culture, put them in a school, and help them with everything we could. And so we could give something back about what people give us for us to get together. So it's our time now to do something and help whatever we could, and that's my message too for everyone he could help. It's not should be money, at least for changing people's mind, for just helping them to sit in their feet, and they could help us too.
Before we get into the crazy story of the next UN interview that happened, let's look at a clip of the work that does need to be done now in terms of the situation is getting worse in the Middle East, especially for gays. So let's take a look at that clip.
The situation now in the Middle East is going more bad and bad, especially from the IS and from militias. They all against gays and they won't do anything to destroy them.
هذا الشيء أكيد إذا كنت أنا موجود أكون بكانهم. أتمنى يعني أريد أكررها هسه وبعد وللتالي مكاتب اليوان اللي موجودة بالشرق الأوسط تساعد هاي الناس. لأن هاي الناس فقرة ما أنت توقفه بهذا المكتب توقف معاملته 3 سنين و4 سنين و5 سنين و6 سنين جاي تعرضه للقتل.
We need a new generation to change the thinking about gay people in the Middle East. We not like what they say. We not bad. We not evil. We just normal people. That's the way how we born, and that's the way how we want to live.
So you became a citizen on July 4th, 2014, an American citizen.
Yes.
And what do you do working now?
I'm now a department manager in home decor.
Okay, cool. That's a good store.
Yes.
Have you always been into interior design and all the arts?
I start as a loader, and after that a graphic designer, and after that a sales specialist, and now I'm just a home decor manager just 3 months ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Oh, wait, what was the first word though? Because it sounded like looter, which is definitely not what he meant.
Loader, like a
Loader.
Yeah.
Loader. Okay.
Yes.
Because looter means you break into the building and take all the stuff. So I just want to make
Not
sure
that
we
one.
don't. Yeah.
No.
Not a looter.
For sure,
Okay.
not that one.
Okay. So and then for 3 years you're stuck in Beirut. And tell me about the interview.
Almost
4 years.
4 years.
Okay.
Almost 4 years.
But about 3 years into it, 9 months after that other crazy interview, you have this total. Now it makes sense. I didn't realize that they were, Lebanese people doing the interviews.
Well, from all over the region, but
Okay.
all bringing their own sort of bias to the process.
Okay. So tell me about what you were actually accused of being a part of, or if you want to speak for
Okay.
Batu.
What's your question?
Abu Ghraib.
أبو غريب. أوكي. تقول لك شنو كانت سالفة أبو غريب؟ شنو اللي أنت قلته وشنو اللي هي سمعت من عندك؟
هي سألتني قالت أنت تعرف عن قصة أبو غريب؟ قلت لها أنا قصة أبو غريب يعني ما عرفت عليها إلا ورا سنة، شفتها بالأوفيس يعني بمكتب من مكاتب الأمريكان بالكم اللي إحنا بيه، كنت يعني أريد ناخذ أوراق مع أوراق وكذا، وشفت يعني الحادثة مالت أبو غريب. فهاي الكلمة تحولت بأن أنا كنت بأبو غريب، على العلم أنا كنت أعمل بعد عن أبو غريب 65 مايلز.
So what happened is she asked him about if he know anything about Abu Ghraib crime in the prison, what happened, those photos for American soldiers torturing Iraqi's prisoner. So he said, yes, I saw it in monitor by screen, like a TV news, in American base. So when she translate that in the paper, she missed, he saw it in monitor, and she make it like he saw it in real life and he was there, which is the UNHCR, they're not accepting anyone. He's like where for witness for torturing people, and which is he's now was there. Abu Ghraib, he never been there, and it's very far away in Ramadi where we met or where he working.
Right. Far from Ramadi.
Yeah, it's like 65 miles.
Right.
Yeah.
And they basically, what they did was they said that she did not say he saw it on TV.
No.
She said he saw the torture and was part of these egregious crimes. And so then what happens?
Well,
So-
he's basically labeled, you would be labeled a war criminal, and so he
So he's
cannot get
definitely
out.
not coming
yeah,
in.
No.
Essentially,
Right.
yeah.
No, and that's why they've been holding his case all the time, and that's our reason here. We want the UN, if they could digital record those interviews, because in his last interview, the 11-hour interview, there's 7 times the translator he misunderstanding and translates something different. 4 of them it was really bad, give the meaning to the bad one. So that's why we need them to translate, better translators to get the right story.
Absolutely.
His final interview was actually, I believe, with it was an Italian the interviewer was Italian, who had a translator translating between what he was saying to Batu and back, and Michael was there with his own translator, which is how then they caught the errors, because as the information was going from Batu to the translator to the person who was actually doing the interview for the UN, the information, it was a game of telephone.
Yeah,
Whether malicious or not, it's dangerous.
Yeah,
Right.
by the way, he working in UNHCR in Jordan, not in Lebanon.
Right.
But he coming in
just specific
Lebanon
for
just
Betu,
from my
because his
interviews.
case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Michael also
Michael,
rattled so
he
many
did, yeah.
cages.
Michael
Because
is
Michael-
working hard for her.
Now I understand the UNHCR has seen the film.
They have.
What was the reaction?
They like it. They do. In fact, I mean, I think, the fact is they are overburdened, and it is a huge bureaucracy. And at the moment, especially in the Middle East, there are so many people flooding the system trying to get to safety that they're just overwhelmed. And I think seeing the film, they identify with the problems and actually want to use it to help train people in the organization. And they're, in fact, hosting a screening next Thursday at the UN. That the U.S. Ambassador Samantha Powers is going to introduce the film. There's going to be a panel that we'll be on, but then they want to use it to try to help the system, which is great because through this whole process they've just been determined to tell their story. As committed as they were to each other, they've been committed to telling their story to try to make things better, whether through tolerance back in Iraq and throughout the Middle East, or to change the system. So.
Is that why you really highlight the love story? I mean, there's purple hearts, there's purple landscapes, there's it's over the top in that way stylistically. Mm-hmm. It really feels like it's almost like music video like in that way, which is not often that you see that in a documentary.
Well,
and one that's political. It's a really, as you say, the personal is political and vice versa. But tell me about those choices.
I think for me, it was the politics were secondary. That was a very important part of the story, but it was always about these two people and their compelling love for each other. And when you hear, just sitting here now, they just burst out of their skin with excitement and enthusiasm and charisma. And that is what informed the visuals, because even in a time of war, talking to them about the relationship, you felt the bubble. You felt how they were safe and insular. And there's of course the story in the film when Naif's sister was in the hospital and passed away, and that cemented their bond to each other. But in the film, Naif says, that's when I knew that I wanted to be with him for the rest of my life, because he's with me not just in good times, but in bad. But when you think about it, the good times they've spent together is war. And the fact that is their...
Or the death of his sister.
That's
leading
up to
time.
that,
Right,
yeah.
right.
And it's like the fact that all these other times were the good times they spent together is a pretty powerful statement. So,
that really is.
that was, when I came on and tried to figure out how we were, how I was going to help tell the story, it was always about their relationship and how to make their separation feel tangible was only by feeling the relationship and feeling the connection they had, even though it was through pictures and whatever videos I could beg, borrow, and steal out of them.
But there were lots.
Yeah.
There was good footage of you two on Skype together. I'm sure I would have as well.
If you have any now, we'll go right back in and change the film just to get more.
Yeah, but when you were, you had lost hope. Batu had lost hope. He was drinking a lot. He was crying all night long. You were feeling guilt.
I felt
because
guilty.
you were here.
I put him in this. Yeah, I put him in this situation and make him stuck. He's not in Iraq. He's not here. He's not.
You felt that because your relationship had become public. And when he came to the hospital and your sister was dying, and I'm so sorry about that, by the way. You introduced him as your lover to your family, no?
I never told him my real name, and I never told him about my family or anything, but in that time, he's the only one. I was thinking about him. He could help me to be beside me, because the situation I was very, very difficult, and I call him and I tell him, please just come to see me.
Now, let's jump forward 4 years. So somehow, some way, Michael relentlessly gets you in front of the Canadians, right? What were the Canadians like? Could you tell that they were they gay? I forget.
The person who interviewed him at the consul,
At the consulate.
the Canadian.
He is gay.
Perfect.
Yeah, he's gay.
Thank
Yeah.
God for the
Yay!
Yeah.
Yes.
This first time I see him, gaydar is working. I
Gaydar
feel
is
like
on. A word
feel,
that he does know in English.
Yeah.
Gaydar. Perfect.
I feeling he gay. He looking in my paper, and after he focus in my life. What do you do here for almost 4 years? He not saving here. I told him everything. He understand. After he told me, congratulations. I believe me. You stay here some month. You go and save life in Canada.
He told you right then?
Yes. I don't believe first times. I call my husband. He have 3 a.m. in the United States.
Not yet your husband. Soon to be your
my
husband.
boyfriend. Yeah.
Was his boyfriend, yeah.
Different time, 10 hours different in Lebanon to here. Anyway, I call him. I say, he say yes, welcome in Canada, blah blah blah. He wake up in morning. He called me. I think after that.
I was believed. Yeah, I was believed. But he said because
time.
it's only one interview, and he said he accepted, and he make him to swear about to protect Canada, and I don't know what they're saying, but I say, does he say that? And you did that? He said, yeah. I take my hands up and I do the swearing things, and I say, are you serious? Because it's not easy for all that years. We just waiting. They said just accept it. And in one interview, it just happened.
Everything changes.
Yeah.
And same things in Montreal when he accepted to come to United States. It only was 10-minute interview, and she asked us about how, like 3 or 4 questions, like how we know each other, how we communicate with each other, and I was bringing her like that much tickets for me visit him every week for a year and a half to Canada and all that stuff. So she said, oh, congratulations, you've been approved to have immigration visa in the United States. And I said, what? Can you say that again? And she said, she said it again. And that time I was like screaming. I just hold my mouth because it's an embassy and a lot of people. And he said, don't say anything, just keep it to last side, you know? And I start screaming and crying and still not believing he's finally, gonna come and live with me there, you know?
Amazing. Beautiful love story. I'm going to leave off with a clip. Congratulations to both of you.
Thanks.
And I know now you're married, but we have a clip of you reuniting for the first time and your nerves upon really seeing him, and you come to Vancouver to meet him. And now you're an American citizen, right? You're married?
Just me. He's not yet.
Well, sort of, I mean, right?
Yeah.
He's married.
2018. Yeah, no.
You're going to be.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll move that up and you'll have to ask them, did I hear that right? Like next week, you know, you never know. But the movie's gonna air, it's playing LA Film Festival now. It's gonna air on Monday, June 13th for its first time at 9 o'clock on Logo, which is a new channel.
No, that's
an old channel?
It's an old channel. It's the home of RuPaul's Drag Race. So it's been around at least 9 years.
Oh. It's that channel, okay. I know RuPaul's Drag Race. I've just never seen it on Logo before. On Logo at 9 o'clock on the 13th of June. I urge you to see it. Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you.
And we're going to leave off with this clip where they are reunited. And one last thing, are you going to have a child?
Yes. That's
the dream.
That's our dream now. Is just to adopt the child who really need a family, so we could build our new family with him together.
I wish you the best of luck with that.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very
Thanks.
much.
Yeah, congratulations, all of you.
Thank
you.
Continue enjoying the festival.
Thank you.
All right, here's a clip, guys. See you next time.
There's a lot of stuff about him. So about him, this suit, I love it. The gray and the blue is the his favorite colors. And he's with father, so he liked that stuff. I love the underwears in American Eagle. They just stretch with your body, make your shape. I get him shoes, something he can wear in the home so he not feel cold. I have this, so I can sleep in the airplane. My feeling is so weird. It's like missing, heavy, scared. It's a lot together.